one thing that I really, really loved about the program was that it allowed me to take a step back from my own life, right? And we have such an up close view because we have such a long to-do list in your snippets of lessons and thinking through priorities and what really matters and how to shift, right? And like this moment of honesty, I just felt like it gave me the space
Yeah.
to step back and really within your teaching. I mean, I'm obsessed. It's so simple, and yet it's literally true for everyone.
It's simple and it's hard. And we're busy, so there's no time to stop, right?
No,
And it
no.
requires that. It requires that you stop, you pause and evaluate. And this evaluation piece, which we do, we kind of started with an evaluation. What do you
Mhm,
want out of life? And, kind of where are you with what you value and what you prioritize so that we can then make adjustments. Don't worry about getting it perfect right now because we'll always make adjustments. And we'll need to
mhm.
make adjustments. Let's expect to have to make adjustments.
Something that I would really point out to someone that your videos are nice and bite-sized. I love books so much, but you're right that actually utilizing what we learn is so much more difficult, and we don't actually acquire the skill until we use it. Like, yeah, I read stuff, I highlight it, I'm like, "Dang, that was so cool, that was awesome, I'm totally gonna do that, I'm gonna be a superstar, I'm gonna set all these goals." And
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I read 2 books ago.
Here's the thing. People that read personal development books are high achievers, which means they probably read a lot of personal development books, which means they're
Mhm,
probably right on to the next one after they finish one. Again, you've got to stop. Like you said, to your point, you've got to stop and you've got to implement. We do it a week at a time. It's bite
mhm.
sized, and I think people in the beginning are a little bit antsy, kind of like, let's get into it. Like, what are my goals going to be? Right? They hear people that are further along and like, oh, I feel like I'm missing it or I can't wait to get there. But those kind of beginning steps are so important. Um,
Mhm. No,
so
the
go ahead.
course is perfect for the learn and apply method, right? Which I always say that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Learn, apply. Like
Yeah.
you cannot just learn, learn, learn. So the course is wonderful. It was just so practical and tangible. And because it was bite sized, and I feel like you really do hear people and what they're trying to say.
Like one of my strengths as a coach is I can hear things and simplify it for people.
Hmm.
And that's so hard for people to do for themselves.
Hmm.
Life is complicated, right? And we're so used to and conditioned to feel like we need to complicate it, right? That it is actually very simple. And if we can simplify it, it just becomes so much more manageable and we're actually going to make progress so much faster.
I'm Leann Stickle. I'm a mom of 4. I'm 44 years old and always want to do all the things. So that's what really led me to Ellen because she really speaks to who I am. And I love RSF. Totally. I mean, it makes perfect sense and it is what the whole world needs. Yeah. So I really feel like I've turned a corner, which is so helpful. And it's exactly what I needed to have happen was just this pausing and stepping back and like allowing someone else to come in alongside of me and see it with me. And the great thing about you, Ellen, is that you force the quantifying of the effort that needs to be put in to accomplish a goal. We can always write goals and we can like hope till we're blue in the face, but you're good with each of us in there. Like, when are we doing this? How many times? What's the length of time? Right. And
Yeah.
I love that. I just the push to get back in there and, to take
Yeah.
steps because then we can course correct, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can't course correct if we don't ever take steps. Yeah. You got me out of this stalled place.
You have to stop. You have to pause. You have to kind of evaluate what needs to shift in order to start doing the things that on some level you need to do. In our world where it's like, be busy, be super productive. That's what's going to make you successful, which is actually very bad for our productivity. And so we have a lot of these factors working against us. Most of us on some level know what we want to be doing. We're just not doing it. And it leaves that kind of level of unfulfillment.
Mhm. Yeah, it does. And I think that there's just so much value in a group and in your leadership. The Monday meetings are of high value to me. And even just listening to other people get coached, it is like just the space and energy of people like pushing forward
Yeah.
that I feel like kind of rubs off on the group. And it's like, okay, yes, we can all do this together. Like, even though we're pushing forward on
Yeah.
different goals.
I think the weekly calls are something that some people are going to dive into more than others. There's people that are going to go through the course and just, find the value from the video content, implement it, maybe post in the chat. But I think, there's that concept of social facilitation, but we go faster when we're doing it with other people.
I mean, I feel like it is a great fit for people that just feel stuck in whatever place you are. I just think that there's so much value in leaning into someone else's expertise to get unstuck. I think that oftentimes we can recognize that maybe our priorities are goofed up, but we don't take the time to really figure it out. Like, how goofed up are they? And what did I actually want them to be?
Right. And how do I get there? It's like I'm so busy and overwhelmed already. How do I take on more to be able to actually make meaningful change in my life? And what I'm hoping that people are finding in this course is that it's actually much simpler than you probably think.
If you feel like you have used all the tools that you have access to, if you feel like you just keep doing the same thing, writing the same things down, feeling frustrated in your own self over and over and over again, then I'm always going to propose do something different. We cannot course correct if we don't take steps forward. So this is a way to take steps forward. And you will course correct. Ellen, you have a gift for really speaking specifically to my person. And I think there are a lot of Enneagram 3s out there that feel a little tortured by what they're not doing. And I often say that, like, even though I know I'm doing a lot of things, I can always think of more things that I should be doing or could be,
Yeah.
or can
Yeah.
I? You're good for me, Ellen.
Well, ditto.